All right, first scrimmage. We actually went a little longer than I had expected, and part of that's just wanting to get young players reps. This was one about depth building. We're banged up and a little more than I'd like, and nothing that's we're not going to recover from, but some soft tissue stuff and some bumps and bruises. So on the whole, we learned a lot about how we can't play today, pre-snap penalties, defensively needing to generate stops earlier. We finishing on the quarterback, generating turnovers. We weren't able to do those things today very well. I thought the tackling on the perimeter, from my vantage point, was pretty clean. They had a couple big ones, but it wasn't because we were missing. So I think we've gotten better at vicing the ball, which is going to be critical to our success in the fall. Offensively, we were able to get some explosive plays there that I thought, obviously, an area that we need to improve upon. I was excited to see Martell, Bryson Coleman. I thought Blaze had some nice throws down the field too. But look, we're not playing this week. We didn't play today. We learned today about where we are. And I think if we can take the learning, then we'll strengthen as a team and be ready for how we need to play in the fall. This wasn't reflective of that. Again, just too many self-imposed negatives, but that's why you practice. So onward and upward. We'll have a good week this coming week, another scrimmage on Friday, and then head into the last week hopefully with a little bit healthier, a little bit faster, and a little bit cleaner in our play.
I mean, I guess on the other side of the defensive stuff, you had fewer 1 yard in a cloud of dust or cloud of rubber pellets runs. Did you think the O-line showed you anything today that you liked?
Well, I believe they've elevated their performance even through spring. So they are moving people at the point of attack. We are defensively, when we're not in with good pad level, anchored and getting long, they've been able to generate space. I like what we've done in terms of the tactics offensively too, some of the changes we made and runs that we've adapted to. So yeah, I was pleased with that. I've been pleased with that. We know that we can't survive and get to the level we want to get to if every play goes through Diego. And so establishing a running game through the tailback is going to be an important part of this offseason.
How do you see the running back position having evolved from last season?
I like our depth. Right now we're banged up, so Joe has been really good. I mean, he's got elite traits and numbers and measurables. He's just struggling to stay available. He had a hamstring that kept him out for most of the week. He got that hammy last week, scoring a touchdown when we separated a pressure. He got a high ankle today, and so we need him to get healthy. That's a 235-pound running back who's fast and physical. MK is coming back from a concussion, and we want him to take his time, but he's been a guy that we've really liked. Obviously, AJ won't be available through the entirety of the spring. He'll be a great addition to that room in the fall. Chase Gillespie's overcoming a hamstring, and so you're getting thin. Seti, Jacob Bayless carried the ball a bunch today, Isaiah Fontan, but the guy that stood out to me today, James L. Laster, and he's been a receiver. This was a chance for him to touch the ball a few times. I thought he showed up and flashed. So we'll keep building out depth there. I love the depth when everyone in the room is healthy. Obviously, we don't want to push it too much here in the spring. We're going to let those guys recover, and I think that room will be in good shape by the time we're playing.
Yeah, what did you make of Blaze today? He's fighting for that backup job.
Seemed like a cleaner day. I thought, again, he capitalized on shot opportunities. We'll need to evaluate the film. The biggest thing with Blaze, he's got some athletic tools, he's got physical tools, and he's got arm strength, just making good decisions with the ball. But what we can't do is turn the ball over. I thought that was cleaner today. We'll need to look at the film to make the final eval.
Where are the younger wide receivers compared to where you want them to be?
Probably a little bit behind. We had probably 3 or 4 formational issues today, which are alignment errors on the receivers. Joe McVay's been limited. I think he's made a ton of physical gains in the offseason. I'm really excited about him. I also believe that he needs to get reps. This is a critical time for him to learn and grow, and it was good to see him out here getting some work. But he's been banged up. So Tristan has grown in consistency. I think just over the course of spring, seeing him step into some plays and make some plays will be great. I know he has it in him. Boski Barrett the same. Boski's again the guy who had a great winter. And just is looking for opportunities there to touch the ball. So we just got to keep growing those guys. Again, we're not playing next week, so part of the challenge here is patience and just process-driven growth. But we will need them to step up and be playmakers for us in the fall.
What did you think of Dante Carter today, and I guess more broadly where he's at?
Really appreciated his effort today. I see a guy who the game is slowing down for him, and he's communicating at a higher level. He's got to be the quarterback for the defense. There's still a need to grow in those areas, but he looks like a guy that's on his way to impacting winning for us, and so he just needs to keep his head down, keep working. But I'm proud of him, proud of his progress, and the physical play too. I thought you see a guy who's put on weight. He's 185 right now, I think, but increased his lean muscle mass. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten faster. Those things are showing up for him on the field.
What's the biggest thing that needs to happen to clean up the defense a little bit?
I'll have to look at the plays specifically. I didn't feel like the overall performance was poor. I mean, we're short a number of our edge players. Corday, still unavailable. We're hoping to get him back to some football in the next couple weeks. Zalen's been limited. Linus has been out here. Just again, we're trying to get him recovered. Nothing long term, but he's at a back that's been bothering him. Miles Capers has been limited. So, over the course of an 88-play scrimmage, you're splitting those reps between just a couple of guys, and it takes its toll. A couple times in the secondary, we missed on opportunities to be in the right position. Some of that's just execution based, and when our offense is clicking, if one of the 11 is out of position, they should make us pay. I think that happened today. But I also felt like there was some opportunistic defense. I felt like though we absorbed some drives that we built to stops, that we got to second and off schedule and were able to get off the field. And so, I'm not discouraged by where we are. I want to see us play better at the point of attack. We can clean up the secondary play a little bit, but I was pleased with our tackling, and I was pleased on the whole with the way kind of an underman unit, kept stepping into it and throwing punches. So
the amount of injuries that you've been dealing with in the spring, how big of a concern is that? Even if they're not long term, that it could carry over into the season.
I think anytime you're dealing with the soft tissue or the bumps and bruises, if it's a contusion, those things typically heal up. But the hip flexors, the hamstrings, the calf strains, those all have kind of lingering effects. And so right now our focus is on protecting those guys, particularly guys that have played a lot of football, so that we stop that chain reaction that happens. So we'll limit reps for as long as we need to make sure they're feeling good, so that by the time that we're playing, we're not dealing with the lag effect of that. The other thing that happens too, when you're short in numbers in certain units, then the load goes to other people, and that can have a wear down effect too. We just got to be conscious of it all, but also there's work to be done, and there are guys that need reps. So it's the balance between those two things.